I cannot believe that I've never done a video on this game before. This is one of the first games I downloaded from the PlayStation Network onto my PS4. It's a favourite of mine.
Mercenary teams!
This is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up platformer. You run, you gun, you shoot, and you pick up so much stuff. And it has that one more go feeling too. Just one more level. The Mercenary Kings are called in, not sure by who, the game never says, to deal with a rogue PMC called Claw, led by the Baron. It's exactly as cheesy as it sounds. The island is being used by Claw to create new weapon systems, but mainly it's the test area for the Mandrake formula, which allows humans to more readily survive missions into space. Or at least it was before Claw repurposed it towards making super soldiers. And that's it. I've literally just spoiled the entire storyline for you. Mind you, it doesn't really count as a spoiler if they tell you it in the first 2 minutes. The elite group of fighters land on the island and... you drop dead. Good start. Only 2 team members survive, King and Empress. The reloaded edition of the game, which, by the way, you can get as an upgrade for free, among other things, added 2 new characters, Frigg and Caesar. FYI, they all play the same. Saved by the Mandrake formula, the Kings head back into the island to stop Claw from... Actually, I'm not quite sure what they're doing. They seem to be perfectly content living on their island. You just seem to be there to fuck up their day. And can I say, I quite like that even after all this time, the developers still haven't fixed this typo. I don't know why I like it. Things like this usually drive me up the wall, but there it is. Your base is called Camp Crown, which you'll return to after every mission. The camp is dotted with specialists that provide various services to you.
Let's kick Claw!
The missions themselves are fairly straightforward. There are a lot of different types: rescue, gathering, neutralize, rendezvous, extermination, sabotage, infiltration, and capture. Don't get too excited. There may be 8 mission types, but they all boil down to the exact same thing. Neutralize requires you to destroy a particular enemy. Sabotage, destroy a particular object. Extermination, destroy every enemy within an area. 3 mission types there, and you're just blasting different stuff. Infiltration requires you to reach a location. Rendezvous, reach a person. Sensing a pattern? Capture is a little different. You have to wear a boss's health down to critical, then toss a shock bomb at them to capture them.
Mission complete!
Rescue requires you to knife or shoot hostages. Look, I can get my head around the idea of knifing someone to free them, cutting their bonds, yeah? How exactly does shooting them work? I mean, even if, and I stress if, the Mercenary Kings were that good a shot, the guns are not that accurate. I mean, given the kind of weapons that you can get in this game, there can sometimes be an enemy stood right in front of you, and you pull the trigger and the bullets go pew! Gathering missions are, again, a little different. But you do so much gathering anyway, you're not going to notice any difference. But this is where Mercenary Kings becomes a bit more interesting than just a run and gunner. You see, the game starts you off with a basic Bolt 45 pistol. As you battle your way across the island, kill enemies, open crates, you'll find materials. Complete a mission and you are rewarded with cash and bonus materials. When you get back to camp, you can sink your newfound goodies into new weapons. But the game isn't satisfied with just letting you build guns wholesale, no. It insists that you build each weapon piece separately. And this is the genius of the system, because those pieces can be reconfigured into any combination you can possibly think of. The receiver is the core of the gun and determines its basic behaviour: pistol, assault rifle, shotgun, etc. The barrel generally increases the range, the clip alters the ammo capacity, the scope and stock increase its stability. The level of customization is truly ridiculous because every piece is effectively modular. You just have to be aware of, and accepting, of the fact that you can only have one gun at a time, and if you build a shit gun, that's your fault. I remember one particular mission where I deliberately built a crazy gun, just to test it out a little bit. And I completed the mission, but then the following mission, my gunsmith went MIA. And without the gunsmith at her workshop, I can't change weapons. So I was stuck with this weird weapon for more missions than I care to think about. You can use this system to control and fine-tune your gun. Adding a scope, for example, increases your visual range. Increasing the ammo capacity with a bigger clip lets you shoot for longer, but results in less damage per shot. Thus, a smaller clip increases the damage per shot. There's always a trade-off for sticking these bits on your gun. There are also different ammo types as well, although they are not necessarily compatible with every one of your creations. You can also craft knives, but for some weird-ass reason, the materials that you need to make the knives are far harder to get a hold of than the materials you need to make the guns. Especially at the beginning of the game, trying to make a new knife is a pain in the arse. You can also build and install biomods, powerful upgrades that can dramatically alter your performance. One of my favourites is Lucky Penny, which increases the drop rate of rare materials. But the biomod you should go for first is Hoarder. That guarantees a material drop from enemies, but it does lower your chances of the rarer stuff. It is exactly what you need to get your stash of materials off the ground.
Ready to roll!
Each mission takes place in an area. The areas are sort of levels, but sort of free roaming. You drop in, and how you reach your objective is usually up to you. There's almost always more than one route to take. You get used to the layout of levels after a while, especially the military city. The game loves sending you there. Each mission has a main objective which must be completed. There may also be extra objectives you can complete for a bit of a bonus, and also possibly secret objectives, but you only get updated on those when you complete part of them. And a big thing you must pay attention to when accepting a mission: the time limit. For the record, I fucking hate time limits. The timer is always on screen, but you do have to think carefully before wandering off to do something else. It can take a few minutes to get back to the main objective. Some missions give you a very generous 30 minutes. Other missions give you only 10 minutes. The lowest time limit I've seen? 2 minutes. What? Seriously, you have to race across the level, drop into a cavern, and shoot the enemy on the left before he stabs forward and kills the hostage. The first time you do this, you will fail.
Rock and load! Oh man!
Mission fail!
I have a couple of issues with the game, besides the fact that it's a bit unstable. First, the riot shields. They are inconsistent. Sometimes you can stab through them with the knife. Sometimes you can't. Also, acid or caustic damage will damage enemies through shields. But armor-piercing rounds that pierce through regular enemies, crates, and entire lengths of solid wall won't go through riot shields. I don't get it. The other major thing that irritates me is a peculiarity with picking up materials. Sometimes you'll kill one enemy, he'll drop some material. You go to duck under the second guard's gunfire. Your character, instead, stoops down to pick up the item, then stands up again just in time to take a bullet to the face. Holy shit, that's annoying. The problem is that crouch and pick up item are both assigned to down on the directional pad. I won't even begin to count the number of times I've been shot because of this. Oh yeah, and the touchpad is used to bring up the map, but it can also be used to scroll the map. And it's a teeny weeny tiny bit massively oversensitive. I really wish it had stopped doing that. Oh god, and the shock bombs. Until you get used to it, throwing a shock bomb is an exercise in frustration. The bombs fly in the same trajectory every time, but they're short-ranged. The main problem, though, is the slight delay between pressing the throw button and the bomb actually leaving your character's hand. See, most bosses are immune to anything directed against their lower section, forcing you to jump often to hit them. But if you try to throw a shock bomb a little bit too late during the jump, it might just bounce off their armor pointlessly. You get used to it after a while, but at first you'll be tearing your own hair out. Which probably explains this. It is totally possible to get sort of stuck in a level, either because you don't have C4 or a shock bomb. It's usually one of those two. Well, fret not. You can use the transceiver to call a supply drop of certain items direct to you. It's handy if you can't get through a door. Though it's more problematic if you want a shock bomb during a boss fight. The boss doesn't stop attacking while you're busy cycling through the resupply options. As you advance through the missions, newer materials will become available eventually, as will new weapon components, knives, biomobs and other little things. New enemies, or at least different versions of the existing ones, will also appear. But the game never strays from its basic formula. Get in, shoot shit, get out, build weapons, rinse and repeat. Honestly, if it weren't for the insane number of gun combinations that are possible, this would be boring. A lot of people will tell you that the only way to play this game is in multiplayer. Well, I've been playing it solo since I picked it up years ago, and I've never run into any serious problems with it, apart from, you know, obviously the occasional glitch or two. There is an obvious advantage if there's more than one player. That means that each player can have one gun, which means you can sort of have a spread of weapons, you know what I mean? You can have one with a sniper rifle, one with a shotgun, etc. But ultimately, you all have to charge down the exact same corridor towards the auto gun at the far end. It's undeniably a repetitive game, very repetitive, but I love it for the customization of the guns and some of the extra powers. I like a game that lets you tailor your approach like that, and this game does it in spades. So many weapon combinations. You've just got to watch out that you don't use a shit one, like I sometimes do. Alright, that'll do for this video. What did you think? Leave a like or dislike down below. What did you think of Mercenary Kings? Or did it not register on your radar at all? Did it pass you by? Let me know down in the comments section. And for those of you who can't get enough of my dulcet tones, you can always subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, because apparently that's a separate thing. Or if you want to inflict my irritating persona on someone else, you can share instead. See you next time.